Are you still struggling to understand the new Guardians of the Rift minigame and want to get that sweet, juicy runecrafting experience? I'll explain everything you need to know. The only requirements to get started are completion of the Temple of the Eye quest and 27 runecrafting. But to get good XP rates, you'll also want the following: 56 agility to make use of a massively useful shortcut, completion of the Enter the Abyss mini quest to get your runecrafting pouches, completion of Lunar Diplomacy and 67 magic so you can use NPC contact to repair your pouches, and if you want to get really sweaty for XP, having 82 plus magic for magic imbue is nice. You'll also want to unlock as many altars as possible. Some of these are locked behind quests, so I recommend you unlock all the altars that your current runecrafting level permits to use. To make use of the Cosmic altar, you'll need to have completed the Lost City. For the Law altar, you must have completed Troll Stronghold. For the Death altar, you'll need to have completed Morning's End Part 2. And to access the Blood altar, you'll need completion of Sins of the Father. To get there, just use the Guardians of the Rift teleport under the grouping tab and teleport. For gear, you can pretty much wear whatever, just bring your best pickaxe. Do note that using a crystal pickaxe here consumes a ton of shards, so you might just want to stick to a dragon pickaxe. Also bring as high a tier of Varrock armor as you can wear. If you have the celestial ring from the shooting stars activity, definitely use it here as well. For the rest of the gear, just put on your prospector's outfit or some graceful pieces. For the inventory, just bring all of your runecrafting pouches, a rune pouch with NPC contact runes, which are Cosmic, Air and Astral, and a chisel. There are 3 aspects to the minigame. You'll have to power up the Guardian and keep him safe from the abyssal monsters coming to attack him by creating Guardians to fight the abyssal monsters and setting up barriers. Before we get started, head over to the plugin hub on Runelite. I recommend you install the Guardians of the Rift and the Easy Essence plugins. These plugins are very useful while playing the minigame. The main thing we'll be doing is crafting runes to charge up his power level. You can track his power level in the top left. Once he reaches 100% power, the game is won. To create essence to make the runes from, you'll have to mine some Guardian fragments. You can mine the Guardian parts and remains in the southwest of the arena, but you can also mine the large Guardian remains to the east. To access the large Guardians, you'll need 56 agility. Mining the large Guardian to the east will give you faster fragments, but it's a bit further away from the playing field. Bring these fragments to the workbench. Here you can turn your fragments into Guardian Essence. Just click on the workbench and fill up your pouches and inventory with essence. The whole process of mining the fragments and having to make them into essence at the workbench takes quite a while. Luckily, there's a way to speed this up. Roughly every 2 minutes, a yellow teleporter ball will spawn. You'll also be able to see in the top left if there is a teleporter available and where it is located. If you click on the yellow teleporter, you'll be taken to the huge Guardian remains. If you mine these huge remains, you'll receive some essence straight up, so you won't have to make your essence by yourself. This greatly reduces the time to make runes, and looking out for the teleports and taking them is single-handedly the most important thing to do, since it saves you so much time. Okay, so now we got a full inventory and filled up our essence pouches. Let's go make some runes. Check the top left again to see which runes are in demand. There will be one type of elemental rune you can craft, air, water, earth or fire, and one catalytic rune, for example bodies, chaos and bloods. You'll want to prioritize the highest tier of rune that is available. I'll put a list on screen now for you to check out. For example, you have the choice between fire runes or nature runes. Your first instinct might be to go craft nature runes, but it's actually better to go for the fire runes because those are of the overcharged tier. So click on the fire altar statue and craft your runes. You'll see that for every essence you get an elemental guardian stone. If you give these to the big boy in the middle, he will gain some power. When you craft your runes at the altar, you'll occasionally also be given a talisman to that altar. These work like normal talismans, but are limited to one use. These come in handy when you have 2 crap runes to choose from, for example air and mine runes. In that case, just use your talisman to access that better altar. You can turn off receiving specific talismans at the altar statues. I'd recommend turning off all the talismans from the weak and medium tiers. When you're done crafting and you want to bank your runes for more inventory space, there's a deposit pool right next to the workbench. Now let's have a look at how you can make the barriers and the guardians for protection. At the start of the game, you'll want to get a stack of 10 uncharged cells from the table by the entrance. Every time you go craft some runes, you'll charge up one of these cells to the weak, medium, strong and overcharged tier, depending on the type of rune you are crafting. These charged cells are used to upgrade and heal the barriers and to make the guardians. The barriers are made by placing cells on these tiles. To start making a barrier, you'll need to place a weak cell, and to upgrade it, you will need to put the next tier of cell in it, all the way to overcharged. You can also heal the barriers by using a lower or same tier cell on it. If you have a cell and you don't know what to do with it, just look for a damaged barrier and slap it on one of those tiles. The charged cells are also used to make the guardians. You can construct a guardian by clicking on one of these essence piles. There can be a maximum of 10 guardians active during the game in masses. So make sure to only use overcharged cells to make overcharged guardians, or your team is gonna hate you. You can check the number of active guardians in the top left as well. These guardians occasionally get killed by the abyssal monsters. Try to always have the maximum number of overcharged guardians active at all times. So just keep making runes and use the cells you receive to upgrade / heal the barriers, or make overcharged guardians, until the big boy guardian hits 100% power. As a reward for getting him fully charged, you'll get some bonus runecrafting XP and 1 point per 100 energy. The points are split between elemental and catalytic points. You'll need 1 elemental and 1 catalytic point to put your hands in the reward guardian to get some loot. I personally haven't been trying to get an equal amount of elemental and catalytic points in every game. I just always aim for the highest tier of rune, and in the end it evens out for me. If you happen to get an abundance of catalytic points every game, try to focus a bit more on elemental runes in the future. Now I'm gonna show you what I do in pretty much every game. I'm getting around 55k XP per hour. If you want to do the same as me, you'll need the 56 agility shortcut and some essence pouches. I start off by taking 10 uncharged cells off the table and run east to the large guardian remains. There's 2 minutes of downtime before you can do anything, so it's a good idea to take this faraway mining spot which gives faster fragments. I hope to get around 130 fragments because that's enough for 2 full inventories of essence. At around 40 seconds left on the timer, I run to the workbench to make the essence and fill up my pouch and inventory. Then I run to the best altar I can and craft my runes. I immediately use my charged cell to upgrade the barriers, or if my first altar is an overcharged one, I try to create a guardian. At around this time, a yellow teleport should appear. Take it and mine a full inventory and pouch of essence. Go back to make some runes. It'll be a while before the next teleporter appears, so now I use my remaining fragments to make my second inventory of essence at the working bench and go craft some more runes. After that, another teleporter should soon be available. Take that teleporter and make runes. Now there is still quite a while before the next teleporter and I have no more fragments, so usually I mine about 25 fragments, make them into essence and craft a small inventory of runes. After making that small amount of essence into runes, I should be right on time for the third and final teleporter of the round. Make your final runes, feed the guardian your stones and try to make use of your last charged cell. After the game, use NPC contact, even if your pouches aren't broken, to repair them. Keep your talismans to use to the next round and get ready to start mining at the eastern spot. If you want to get more experience and more points per hour, you can make combination runes. Bring a binding necklace and place a stack of steam runes in your rune pouch, and keep the big stack of air runes in your inventory. Remove the air rune placeholder in your bank and fill up the bank with fillers so you don't accidentally deposit your air runes during the game. Then, every time you go craft an elemental rune, you can cast Magic Imbue and click your air runes on the altar to make combination runes. These will give you 50% extra points and more experience. But that was pretty much it. This was a bit of a longer guide by my standards, but I feel like I couldn't get it any shorter without excluding some important information. If you like this guide, go check out my other skilling boss guides. I'll put a playlist on screen now. I hope you found this guide clear and helpful. If you did, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future guides. Thanks for watching. See ya!